Hi, welcome to my second episode of my podcast. I am Lisa J. Stocks, and today I have Melissa with me. Melissa, can you give a quick introduction?
An introduction. I'm Melissa Myrie. I am Lisa's fantastic cousin, and Lisa is my financial advisor, even though she doesn't know it.
Okay, all right. Melissa's been on my YouTube channel before, but this is her first time partnering with me for a podcast. And tonight, I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the taboo, or what I think is still a taboo subject of money, and talking about money and sharing about where and how are we going to learn about finance. Do you think that this is a taboo subject?
Absolutely not.
You don't? Okay.
Oh, I think maybe it used to be, but I think that I'm going to say in the past 15 years, maybe, or maybe since like 2008 when there was so much drama in the finance world. Maybe people started talking about it then, or maybe that's just when I noticed people talking about it more. But I don't think it's taboo at all.
All right. So we've spoken before, and you said that maybe it was just that you weren't interested, but you
Mhm.
told me that you didn't even realize how much investing and planning your parents were doing over the years.
Definitely. I think the way I see it, I was caught up in being a teen or a tween or a 20 something, and I really wasn't I was thinking about building my life, right? I wasn't thinking about building wealth. After I got married, maybe is when I started asking more questions about how to build a financial future. And the people who I knew to talk to about it were my parents, also some friends who, and they're like white friends who told me it was something they started talking about very early on. And it could just be that maybe I didn't think about it. Like we took trips
Yeah,
to the
but
bank.
even if you didn't think about it, it seems that the lesson, they didn't bring the lessons to you and say, "Melissa, you have to have an understanding of this." But listen, somebody else just popped in and I wanna bring them up. So, hold on, let me add them to the stage. Hello.
Hello.
Hey there. I have another cousin that's joining the conversation. My cousin Cheryl is also joining us for this podcast episode. So we just got started, and Melissa was telling me about being young in her 20s and just not being very interested in the topic of learning about finance. So, Melissa, finish your thought on that, and then we can move on to some questions and we can all share. But you were saying that mostly people around you of another race, other races, had a different experience of their families teaching them about finance?
This is true, but I think it also has to do with the place I grew up is was a very white space. So the friends who I had around me, um, those were the ones who were talking to me about, what their parents taught them. And my friends in high school especially, they were not black people. So if I'm thinking about my friends and what we talked about and whether or not we touched on finances, I think we just all would talk about growing up and getting a great job or buying big houses, but the conversations weren't about how to build wealth. So I think that's something maybe that started happening after, I'm going to say, 25.
Okay, so just to share with the listeners, Cheryl came to the United States at age 18. Cheryl might bring a little bit of a different perspective on finance because she wasn't always here in the US. What was your money mindset at 18? And do you think that you've learned a lot from family members about finance and just investing, real estate? Where did you get your knowledge from?
Well, I would say it's kind of a difference about investing. Is that something that we were taught while we were younger? We were taught how to handle the money that we had. For example, not how to get it and allow it to multiply. We weren't taught that. But we
Mm,
were taught like the little we have, we had to save. Even from, it's a little bit different here. I think you call it junior high. When I went to junior high school, what they would do is they would start saving for us. And when you save, the school itself would have maybe put it into like a saving bonds until you leave school. But we actually weren't taught to do it. We only taught that whatever you had to take a little bit of it in order for us to have it like when we go to high school and stuff like that. But when I got here, it's totally different. You learn about stocks because
So where did you learn about that type of investing?
I think I was in college and my uncle in London, he's an international lawyer, and he was doing some sort of investing, like doing stocks. And I noticed that he used to say when the diagram go up, when you're supposed to buy, when you're supposed to sell. And I was interested in it. And at that time, you couldn't do it if you didn't have like a license. So what I did it through Jamaica because I could have done it through Jamaica because I was born there. So I did it in London and he assisted me. That's how I started learning a little bit about it until the market crashed. And then I left it alone.
In what year did you have this bad experience and kind of turn your
I
back on investing for a
think
while?
I think it was year 1999 or year 2000 thereabout.
Okay.
So Cheryl said something really interesting. I'm gonna have to 100% agree. My parents absolutely said or gave me the ideas that whatever money you have to save some of it. So but the part about multiplying and doing other things with it is something I was like oblivious to. But they were doing it on my behalf and my brother's behalf. They were doing it for us. We just didn't really talk about it.
Yes, we weren't talking about it.
Okay, so that's what I was saying about, do you think that this is a taboo subject, a subject that we need improvement so that our children are not in the dark, our nieces, our nephews, even our friends, that we can share the knowledge that we have? Do you think that there's an opportunity there to help others to have a better financial future?
I think because you are talking about it, it's making it easier to talk to family members or talk to my own daughter about it because you're someone she knows and is willing to listen to rather than some abstract person at the bank or online that she knows nothing about. She's interested because someone she knows is talking about it.
All right. So, like, as far as finances, I feel like as people start to share with me, I thought that people were doing better than what they actually are doing. Do you think that we're all kind of in the dark with how much people earn and how much they're saving for retirement and things like that because no one wants to talk about it? Do you think that the people in your circle, because we're always just, we're hanging out, we're going to book club, happy hour, brunch, the people in your circle, do you think that they have the financial knowledge that they need and that they're putting effort into building up their retirement funds, having investments for their children to give them a head start, their college fund, things like that?
What I think is the younger generation has more knowledge than our generation. They start much earlier. I'm going to take, for example, my nephew. I think my nephew started doing stock for me was like 14. We didn't teach him this. I don't know. I think he learned in school or something. It's not something that we actually taught him because he'll be like, oh, I have this stock in this and I have this and this. And he has all these different things that's going on. But I think because we did not learn at an earlier age, actually started doing it, is something that some of us are actually scared to do. Because when you reach a certain age, you're actually scared to lose what you have. So they won't take the risk of trying these different new marketing like crypto and all these different things.
All right.
Some
I
people
definitely want people to I want people to win in investing. Do you agree that there are safer investment choices, ETFs, index funds, things that have a, long history of stability and gain and diversification that you pretty much are going to come out on the winning end of it. Do you feel that people have an understanding of that, or do you think that they're just scared to invest?
I think in our circle,
Older
there's
people, that is.
older people, they're scared to invest and they don't have enough knowledge.
I definitely
And
agree
that's
with
what.
So what's gonna happen to them? I mean, what is gonna happen to older people that haven't got on board with it? How are they gonna manage when they have to stop working? In your perspective of older family members, aunts, uncles, whoever around us.
Well, I think some of them do have retirement savings and they are going to rely on that. Some of them have investment properties that they can sell and then
Mhm.
maybe live off of that money. They have a plan, a financial plan. Some of them do have plans that included stocks or, you know, investment funds that they can cash out or use. You know how all that works. I don't know how all that works, but I think some of them have plans that they are going to work those plans until the plan doesn't work anymore.
All right. So personally, we cannot think of anyone who doesn't have real estate or savings. Most of the people that you're thinking of in the family are somewhat secure.
I
Yes.
agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Praise God for that.
I would say I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing some struggles with poor planning and no vehicle, declining health, and only Social Security or disability money, nothing extra to supplement it. And there is a struggle there.
So what do you say to them when you see
There's nothing I can say at this point because I started the conversation way too late. And I really don't know what to say now. It's just I can't turn back the clock. Once you're, when you're 65, 70, 75, I can't turn back the clock. I really don't know what to say. I really want the message to get to younger people
Mhm.
to prioritize this and take the time to make an account and figure out what would my Social Security payment be
Mhm.
when I stop working? And is this a reasonable amount for me to live off of? Or do I need to be over here building my retirement savings so that I have my extra $1,000,000 to
Mhm.
pull from?
Mhm.
Because how long do you want to work? How long will you be able to work? And what is the economy going to be looking like? I know that my bills are very high. I'm sure that both of you are in the same
Mhm.
situation with the car insurance and the heating and just everything.
Yes.
So
Okay, I have a question for you though.
all right.
So you said your focus is on the younger generation who can make the plan now and then make the plan work later, right? So what do you say to the 20 something who is like they're in their like first or second job out of, either high school or trade school or college or something. And they have this guy who comes around once a year and talks about finances. What would you tell them to do?
Follow the guidance. Be getting on board with contributing 15% of your income to saving and investing primarily once you get your emergency fund built up, keep yourself out of debt. We're
Mhm.
living above our means is the issue of you start working, you can't get into a house and a car and people are immediately, I think, putting themselves in a situation where they're spending too much, and then obviously there's no buffer. There's no room to invest the amount that's needed. And the earlier you start investing, the longer time you have for it to build, for compound interest to play its part in letting this money grow. So, and another issue is not having emergency savings. So every time something happens, you're charging it.
Mhm.
And then you're unable to pay your credit card bill. And then you're falling into debt and the interest rates are drowning you. And that's where the cycle begins of you being hindered for years to come with the issues that if you just started out with a better plan, then you wouldn't have to then dig yourself out.
But you said get out of debt, save 15%, and have an emergency fund.
Yes. That's
Okay.
what I think needs to, and the 15%, if you have to work your way up to it, obviously. But also, if you're working, There might be employer match that gives you maybe 3, 4, 5, however
Yeah.
many percent that they contribute, as well as if you work in a job, for example, like you working in the education type
Question.
realm where you know
So,
that you're gonna have a pension, put
Mm,
all that together into building that 15%. Don't feel like I necessarily have to contribute that all myself.
okay.
Okay, go ahead,
so
Carol.
my question is, so you're saying 15% should be like a part of your 401k other than your other investments, or you're just investing in the 401k or stocks? How
I
would
think
you split it up?
I think that if that's all that you can do is your 401k, then do that. If you can do more, then move on to doing more. But I think a lot of people are not even maxing that opportunity out of contributing to their 401k and getting their company match. And I mean a substantial amount, getting towards the 15%, if not above. But I do that, and I have my own investments, and I have a rental property. So, at a minimum, I would say to start with your retirement savings being around that percentage. The more you can do, the better. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. The more you can do is better. And I think you should also check Social Security to see how much they plan to give you when you reach at whatever age. Because what they do now, like when you call Social Security, a lot of people don't call to see how much they'll get. They literally tell you, like, when you're 60 or 65 or 67, and they break it up how much you'll get if you start taking it at what time. And I
Yes.
think that's very important for you to do to see if what you'll be getting will assist you when.
So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be raising the age of Social Security if they have not already. So, like you're breaking it, like you were just saying, to get the full Social
If,
Security, I believe you have to work until 67. So you would get
yes,
a
it's the
lower
7
percentage if you wanted to tap into it at say 64 or 65. But it seems like they're on track to raise the retirement age to get full benefits up to potentially 70 or 72. Have you
Mm,
guys heard this?
yes.
I do need to look that up to see if that's already gone into place, but I see the struggle. I guess you guys are not seeing the struggle in your immediate family members, but I think I am definitely seeing it and know what I don't want in my future. And I also see what I do want in my future because I do have an aunt and uncle that I aspire to be like, and I see that they seem to have done well with their planning, with their saving, with their investing, with their properties, all of that. So, I guess you guys were a little on board with with what I was saying and not, because Melissa's saying it's not taboo. Cheryl, you're saying that children nowadays know more than the adults and will make strides in this, even if we were not there to teach them as much.
yes.
I hope it turns
Hmm.
out like that, but I think in a lot of families, the parents are lacking knowledge and don't have much to give to the children, and it's just not a priority. I guess there's vast differences. Like I said, we are all related, but there's lots of different income levels. We have family that live in different countries, and with that, there's a spectrum of different social and economic views and struggles and ways of people thinking and the way that they built their wealth. I know our grandfather also was focused on real estate. So it doesn't just have to be investing, but investing, stock market investing, index funds, and stuff like that. But I think we need to find investments that build wealth in a different way because just having our paycheck and money that's not really working for us is not gonna be able to sustain us long term.
True.
All right.
Definitely.
So, do you think that different races have give their children a better opportunity in life than our particular culture?
Oh, that's a really heavy question. And I think we cannot, there's no way we can get all the way into that in this short podcast. I think that if we were to look at the history of this country, we can see that opportunities for wealth are different for different races. And I think that shows in the way wealth is distributed.
All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, ladies, for just starting to touch on this subject with me. And I hope that in the future, maybe we can continue to chat about this or another topic. Cheryl, anything else you want to share before we wrap this up?
No, I just want to say, as Melissa said, that was a broad topic, and it also is based on the level of income that families actually take in home, and depends on the areas where you live in. Because some people just don't know. Other people are always on the system, and once you're on the system, you basically don't have enough even to even consider doing. Because most
Mhm.
time you just get enough to live and eat. So it stems from different things, not only race, but the level in which you are in the society.
Maybe next time we talk about when you start talking about finance with your kids. And I think something that happens that did not happen with me, and maybe it happened with you all. When I went to college, I was told to choose something that I wanted to do rather than choosing a career that would make me lots of money.
Ah, that's a good one.
Maybe we talk about that.
Okay, next time. But thank you for taking the time out, ladies, on this cold winter evening to have this chat with me. I want to continue to be open and transparent about money in our families and our friend circles because I think it's important. We shouldn't be intimidated about money and we should be able to share our knowledge and make sure that no one is left behind in this journey to financial freedom.